up guys, Dakota here, and welcome back to the Driven Mad channel. So in today's video, what I thought I'd kind of do is explain to you guys why I bought this car, the Shelby GT350R. That's kind of a giveaway right there. And then also just kind of show you a few things about the Shelby, just in case you guys aren't familiar with what it is. So what I thought I'd do is, we're out here at the Sam Houston National Park area because they have some decent roads where, you know, it's actually kind of smooth and nice. You know, this is where I'm taking the Corvette and the Camaro 1LE. I'm gonna find a spot where we can pull over, kind of go over kind of why I bought it and some of those things. So in the meantime, while I look for that, you guys get to enjoy some exhaust note. All right, so why did I end up buying a Shelby GT350R? Well, there's a few reasons. One of the biggest reasons that I chose to get a 350R was I wanted another manual sports car. I've said this a couple of times on my channel before. My cousin Austin, when he bought his GR86, you know, I got to spend some time with that, and it made me really want another manual. As you guys know, my Camaro 1LE, obviously that was a manual, and the Corvette is not a manual. It's a dual clutch only. And I just really missed that engagement. You know, so I was like, what car can I get that's very fun to drive, manual transmission, that won't lose its value like a rock if I decide that I don't want to keep it, and that is something that I haven't done before. You know, so obviously this car is renowned as being one of the best Mustangs ever. I've always wanted to drive a 350R, so that's kind of why I went with it, was manual transmission, the engine that revs to 8,200 RPM, and it won't lose, or it shouldn't lose, hopefully, any value, and if it does, it will be very minute if and when I decide to sell the car. So, real quick, I guess we'll kind of talk over some of the things about the Shelby that kind of make it special. First thing, starting with the exterior, we're going to start at the front here, because on the Shelbys, whether it's 350 or 350R, the front right here, the hood, the bumper, is all completely different than, say, a regular, say, 2018 Mustang GT. The fenders are different, the hood is different, the bumper is different. So the hood is aluminum, although it doesn't actually feel that light. If I'm being honest, the Camaro's hood feels much lighter. And unlike in 2018 when they did the redesign, the Shelbys stayed the same on the front end. They have not changed it, kind of similar to how the ZL1 Camaro has stayed the same in the 6th generation since it came out. Next is obviously the carbon fiber wheels. Now this is exclusive to the R. The regular 350 has different wheels, just regular forged aluminum wheels, and I believe the tires that come with it are PS 4S Michelin's, not Cup 2s. So you get carbon fiber wheels, which reduce the unsprung weight of the car, and these things are massive. They're 305s up front, 315s in the rear. Also, you get 6-piston Brembo brakes. In 2018, they were drilled rotors, and these brakes are impressive. I mean, they're super awesome. They will definitely get you stopped. So another cool thing about the Shelby, as we're kind of working our way towards the back, obviously you guys see the splitter at the front here, this little side skirt, and now this spoiler is specific to the R. Later 350s, non-R models, got a revised spoiler. The R has always kept this spoiler, and what's really cool about this car is when it came out, it makes more downforce than a Porsche 991.2, I believe, GT3, which is pretty insane considering that the GT3 is a much more expensive car. And those two cars get compared a lot, this and the GT3, because of their, you know, rear drive manual, high revving, naturally aspirated engines. And then this is actually a carbon fiber spoiler. So it's painted, but it is actually carbon fiber. So if we're looking here at the rear diffuser, one of the other special things, obviously, that everybody knows about with the 350s is their exhaust sound. So if you look here, these are not the actual tips. So you see the actual tips of the exhaust are right there. And the reason they do this, because you know, I've wondered, and a lot of people have wondered, it also helps with sound. It kind of acts as a Z06 Corvette is doing the similar thing, except the tips are actually going further back to amplify it. But it kind of, that's what allows it to kind of have that sound, and it's like a megaphone that sends it back to the cabin, which is why this sounds insane on the inside and the outside. And another thing specific to the R, it gets a Ford X pipe, so it gets rid of the resonator in the middle, and so it's even louder than the regular 350. So like for example, Corsa makes an exhaust system for it, but they specifically say the volume won't be any different. It will just simply be a tone change on a 350R. Now let's check out the engine of this thing, because obviously that is one of the key things as to why you buy a Shelby. All right, so here is the engine. It is a 5.2 liter flat plane crank V8. And I'm sure most of you guys are very familiar with why this engine is so special and what flat plane crank is. But for those of you who don't, typically flat plane cranks allow the engine to rev much higher and much faster. They can spin up very quickly. So that's why this thing revs to 8,250 RPM compared to, say, like a regular Mustang GT's 7,500 or so, or say like a SS Camaro 6,500. It makes 526 horsepower and 429 pound-feet of torque. So this thing really makes most of its power above 4,000 RPM. So really kind of below 4,000 RPM, it doesn't make a whole lot of power. And if you put your foot down at, say, 2,000 RPM, you don't get the same level of response as you would, say, a LS or LT engine in a Camaro or a Corvette. But once you're beyond 4,000, it rips. It is insane. On the interior of the car, there's not a whole lot of major changes from a regular Mustang. You get a different steering wheel. It's a flat bottom with the red line up here. Obviously, the seats themselves are the super aggressive Recaro seats, and they are manual only to help save weight. There's no power option, at least for the R, if you get the Recaros. Now, you could option the non-Recaro seats in the R, but to me, that kind of defeats the purpose of having the R model. And obviously in the back is where you have your rear seat delete. So it's just carpet back there. There's no seats, no seat belts. Again, all to help save weight. And then this is where a lot of people really like the Shelby, for this shifter. So the main reason that people love the shifter in here is, one, because the regular manual transmission in the Mustang is the MT82, which is notoriously known for not liking to be hurried when you're shifting it. So it gets kind of a bad rap for that. However, this is a Tremec transmission, and it is phenomenal. I mean, it's probably, out of all the manuals that I've driven, my Camaro, the GR86, this, and plenty others, this is the best manual transmission I've used. The throws are nice and short. It feels connected. It vibrates like crazy when you're in gear, and I love that. And when I say vibrate, I don't mean it rattles. I mean, when you put your hand on it, you can feel the vibration, and it is super cool. So that's one of the other things on the interior and kind of mechanical bits that make it a little bit more special than a regular Mustang. God dang. All right, guys, so there you have it. That's pretty much why I bought a GT350R, because the sound is intoxicating, the engine is crazy, the shifter is great. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you didn't know anything about the 350R, I hope that you learned something. And yeah, if you liked the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. Make sure to click that bell notification so you get notified for more videos. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.